What if I told you that right now, growing somewhere in a warm backyard or along a dusty roadside in Africa or Asia, there is a leaf, a single humble leaf, that contains more calcium than milk, more protein than eggs, more iron than spinach, and more vitamin C than oranges? And what if I told you that most people in the Western world have never even heard of it? That leaf belongs to Moringa oleifera, and it might be the most nutritionally dense plant on the planet. Now, before you think this is another trendy superfood claim, let me be very clear. Moringa is not new. It is not a marketing invention. It has been used in traditional medicine and agriculture for over 4,000 years, documented in ancient Ayurvedic texts from India, used by Roman, Greek, and Egyptian civilizations. And today it is actively researched by institutions including the World Health Organization and Johns Hopkins University. This is a plant with serious scientific credentials. So why doesn't everyone know about it? That's exactly the question we're going to answer today. Let's start with what moringa actually is. Its full common name is Moringa oleifera, sometimes called the drumstick tree, the horseradish tree, or most famously, the miracle tree. It belongs to the family Moringaceae, a small but remarkable plant family with only 13 known species, and oleifera is by far the most studied and most cultivated of them all. Moringa is a fast-growing, drought-resistant deciduous tree that originates from the sub-Himalayan foothills of northwestern India, specifically the regions of Punjab, Rajasthan, and Uttar Pradesh. From there, it spread across South Asia, East Africa, and Southeast Asia over centuries of trade and migration. Today, it is naturalized across the entire tropical and subtropical belt of the world. Visually, moringa is distinctive. It grows tall, between 10 and 12 meters at full maturity, but it can be pruned aggressively and maintained as a small shrub for home gardens. Its bark is whitish gray and corky. Its branches are fragile and drooping. Its leaves are small, oval-shaped, and a vivid deep green arranged in opposite pairs along delicate stems called pinnate compound leaves. When you hold a moringa leaf up to the light, it looks almost delicate, thin, lightweight, almost translucent at the edges. Yet, packed inside that thin leaf is a nutritional complexity that rivals almost anything else in the plant kingdom. The tree also produces long, slender seed pods. Those are the drumsticks that give it one of its common names, that can grow up to 120 centimeters long. Its flowers are small, creamy white, and fragrant, appearing in clusters and attracting pollinators from great distances. Every single part of this tree, leaves, flowers, pods, seeds, bark, and roots, is either edible, medicinal, or useful in some agricultural or industrial capacity. That is extraordinarily rare in the plant world. What makes moringa truly rule-breaking compared to other greens is its combination of speed, resilience, and nutrient density. While spinach struggles in heat, bolts quickly, and demands consistent watering, moringa thrives in drought, poor soils, and intense sun. While kale takes months to establish, moringa can be harvested within 60 days of planting. It is not just a better leaf in terms of nutrition, it is a more practical, more forgiving, and more generous plant in almost every measurable way. And yet, most small-scale gardeners in Europe, North America, and even parts of Asia still walk past it without a second glance. Stay with us, because what comes next will completely change how you think about what belongs in your garden and on your plate. Moringa is, in the truest sense of the word, a tropical survivor. It evolved in one of the harshest growing environments on Earth, the dry, rocky, semi-arid foothills at the base of the Himalayas. And that origin has given it a biological toughness that most cultivated plants simply don't have. To grow well, moringa needs full sun exposure, at least 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight per day. It thrives in temperatures between 25 degrees Celsius and 35 degrees Celsius, 77 degrees Fahrenheit to 95 degrees Fahrenheit, and can tolerate brief spikes up to 48 degrees Celsius. It is highly drought tolerant once established, but it is extremely sensitive to frost and cannot survive prolonged temperatures below 0 degrees Celsius. In cooler climates, it is often grown as an annual or kept in large containers that can be moved indoors during winter months. Soil requirements are surprisingly flexible. Moringa prefers well-drained, sandy or loamy soils with a pH between 6.3 and 7.0, but it can grow in poor, degraded, or even slightly alkaline soils where most vegetables would fail completely. What it absolutely cannot tolerate is waterlogged or clay-heavy soil. Standing water around the roots will cause rapid root rot and kill the plant within days. In terms of global cultivation, Moringa is most abundantly grown in India, which is both the largest producer and the largest exporter of Moringa products worldwide. The state of Andhra Pradesh alone produces an estimated 1.2 million tons of Moringa pods annually. Beyond India, major producing countries include Ethiopia, Nigeria, Sudan, Kenya, the Philippines, Indonesia, Mexico, and Haiti. In sub-Saharan Africa, moringa has become a critical food security crop, promoted by NGOs and agricultural programs as a solution to malnutrition, precisely because of how easy and inexpensive it is to grow. Now, let's walk through the growth timeline, because this is where moringa genuinely surprises people. Day 1-3. Moringa seeds can be planted directly in the ground or started in containers. Seeds have a germination rate of approximately 85 to 95% under proper conditions, exceptional for any food crop. Unlike many trees, moringa does not require pre-soaking, though soaking seeds for 24 hours can accelerate sprouting. Seeds are planted 2 centimeters deep in loose warm soil. Days 4-10, seedlings emerge rapidly. Within a week, you will see the characteristic small oval leaflets pushing up through the soil surface. Weeks 2-4, growth accelerates dramatically. Moringa is one of the fastest growing trees known to science, capable of reaching 3 to 5 meters in its first year under ideal conditions. During this phase, consistent light watering, but never waterlogging, is important. Week 6-8. The first harvest of leaves is possible. Young moringa leaves are the most tender and nutritionally potent, making early harvesting not just acceptable, but actually recommended for maximum leaf quality. Months 4-6, if left unpruned, moringa will begin flowering. Pods develop after pollination and reach harvestable size within 60 to 70 days of flowering. Regular pruning to about 1 meter in height encourages bushier growth, more leaf production, and easier harvesting, a technique used in commercial leaf farming operations across India and East Africa. Annual regrowth. In tropical climates, moringa grows year-round. In subtropical or seasonal climates, it may die back slightly in cooler months, but will regrow vigorously from the established root system in spring. For home growers, moringa is an excellent container plant. A large pot, at least 40 centimeters in diameter and 50 centimeters deep, with sandy, well-draining soil mix, is sufficient to grow a productive moringa plant on a balcony or patio. Container-grown plants will be smaller than field-grown trees, but the leaves will be equally nutritious. One critical farming note: moringa responds extremely well to organic compost and mulching, which helps retain moisture without causing root rot. Chemical fertilizers are rarely needed and can actually reduce the distinctive flavor and medicinal quality of the leaves. This is a tree that asks very little from you and gives back an enormous amount in return. Let's talk about the science, because moringa's reputation as a nutritional powerhouse is not folklore. It is supported by peer-reviewed research published in journals including the Journal of Food Science and Technology, Phytotherapy Research, and Food Chemistry, starting with basic nutrition. Gram for gram, dried moringa leaf powder contains approximately 9 times the protein of yogurt, 10 times the vitamin A of carrots, 15 times the calcium of bananas, 17 times the calcium of milk, 25 times the iron of spinach, and 12 times the vitamin C of oranges. These figures, widely cited from research conducted at the Trees for Life Institute and confirmed through multiple independent nutritional analyses, explain why the WHO and UNICEF have endorsed moringa as a complementary food for malnourished children and nursing mothers in food-insecure regions. For the human body, moringa leaves deliver a spectrum of critical micronutrients in bioavailable form. They are rich in vitamins A, B1, B2, B3, B6, C, E, and K, along with calcium, magnesium, potassium, phosphorus, zinc, and iron. The leaves also contain all 9 essential amino acids, making moringa one of the very few plant sources of complete protein, a property typically associated with animal products or legumes. The antioxidant profile of moringa is particularly noteworthy. Research published in the Asian Pacific Journal of Cancer Prevention identified high concentrations of quercetin, chlorogenic acid, and camphorol in moringa leaves, compounds with documented anti-inflammatory, anti-cancer, and cardioprotective effects. Chlorogenic acid, in particular, is associated with blood sugar regulation, and several clinical studies have shown that moringa leaf consumption reduces fasting blood glucose levels, making it a subject of active research for type 2 diabetes management. Moringa also contains isothiocyanates, a class of bioactive compounds with demonstrated antibacterial and anti-inflammatory properties. These same compounds are found in broccoli and cauliflower, but at significantly lower concentrations than in moringa. From a medicinal standpoint, moringa seed oil, known as ben oil, has been used for centuries in skincare and is still used today in cosmetic formulations for its high oleic acid content and remarkable resistance to rancidity. Moringa root extracts are studied for antimicrobial activity, though the roots contain spirochene, a potentially toxic alkaloid, and should never be consumed without proper processing. For animals, moringa is increasingly recognized as a high-value feed supplement. Research from livestock trials in sub-Saharan Africa and Southeast Asia has demonstrated that incorporating moringa leaf meal into poultry and cattle diets improves milk production, egg output, and weight gain, while reducing the need for synthetic feed supplements. In smallholder farming systems, this represents a significant reduction in operating costs. The environmental benefits of moringa are equally compelling. Its root system prevents soil erosion on slopes and degraded land. The tree fixes atmospheric nitrogen modestly through its root associations, improving soil fertility over time. Moringa seed powder has been proven to act as a natural coagulant for water purification. Studies published in the Journal of Hazardous Materials confirmed that crushed moringa seeds can remove up to 99.9% of bacteria from turbid water, a discovery with profound implications for rural water treatment in developing regions. Additionally, moringa is a carbon sink. Fast-growing trees sequester carbon rapidly, and its deep root system stores carbon in the soil over long periods. In summary, moringa is one of the rare plants where the science, the traditional knowledge, and the agricultural data all point in exactly the same direction. This plant matters. We are living in a time when global food security is under serious pressure. Climate change is disrupting growing seasons. Soil degradation is reducing agricultural productivity on every inhabited continent. Malnutrition affects 820 million people worldwide, according to the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. And that number is rising, not falling. In that context, a drought-tolerant, fast-growing, nutritionally complete, soil-improving tree that can be grown from seed to harvest in 60 days, for almost no cost, is not a curiosity. It is an answer. Moringa's economic case for farmers is powerful. In India, commercial moringa cultivation generates 2 rupees to 4 rupees lakh per acre annually from pod sales alone, with additional revenue from dried leaf powder, which retails at $10 to $30 per kilogram in Western health food markets. Global demand for moringa products, leaf powder, capsules, oil, and tea is growing at a compound annual rate of approximately 9.5%, according to market research firm Grandview Research, driven by rising consumer interest in plant-based nutrition and natural supplements. For small-scale farmers in tropical regions, moringa is increasingly being recognized not just as a subsistence crop, but as a viable cash crop with direct access to international export markets. The importance of seed preservation for Moringa cannot be overstated. While Moringa is not currently at risk of extinction, the genetic diversity within the species, the dozens of regional varieties adapted to specific soils, rainfall patterns, and temperature ranges, is quietly being lost as industrial monoculture farming focuses on a handful of high-yield commercial varieties. Organizations like the Bioversity International Seed Bank Network are actively collecting Moringa landraces, traditional locally adapted varieties, for preservation. As a home grower or small farmer, saving seeds from your moringa plants each season is a direct contribution to this effort. It costs nothing. It matters enormously. If you are a home gardener and you live anywhere in a warm climate, anywhere from Southern California to the Mediterranean, from Southeast Asia to South America, moringa is one of the most practical decisions you can make this growing season. It requires no specialized equipment, no complex soil preparation, and minimal ongoing care. Plant it, water it lightly while it establishes, keep the roots drained, give it sun, and within 2 months, you will be harvesting one of the most nutritious greens available anywhere on Earth, from your own backyard, for free. If you are in a cooler climate, grow it in a container. Keep it near a south-facing window in winter. Bring it back outside in spring. Even a small container-grown moringa plant, pruned and managed well, can produce regular leaf harvests through the warmer months. Add the leaves fresh to smoothies, salads, or soups. Dry them gently at low heat and grind them into a powder that stores for months. Use that powder in everything from morning oatmeal to homemade bread. A single teaspoon of moringa powder daily delivers a meaningful nutritional contribution, particularly for iron, calcium, and vitamin A. The story of moringa is, ultimately, the story of what happens when we stop chasing exotic novelty and return our attention to what actually works. What has worked for thousands of years, in some of the harshest corners of the world, for some of the most resource-limited farming communities on Earth. This tree did not survive 4,000 years of human history by accident. It survived because it is genuinely, demonstrably, scientifically excellent. And now, finally, the rest of the world is beginning to pay attention. If this video gave you something valuable today, a new perspective, a new plant to try, or simply a deeper appreciation for what agriculture and nature can do together, please share it with someone who grows things. Leave a comment below telling us whether you have tried moringa or whether you are planning to grow it. Subscribe if you want more content like this. Grounded, research-backed, and always honest about what plants can and cannot do. Your garden has room for a miracle tree, and now you know exactly where to find one.